Hey guys, how are you today? Um, it's winter recess over here, so my routine has been a little bit different. Um, I normally wake up, I meditate after I take the kids to school. I've been privileged enough to be able to be home, and so then I spend that time and I kind of like do my readings and I have all that time to myself, and they've been home. So it's been a little stressful trying to ground myself with them. The two teenage boys. It's the video games. So the constant electronics really drives me nuts. I don't know how many people can relate to that. If you have teenage kids that just play video games, it's like the regret of like, why did I ever buy this? Why did I ever bring this into my house? All right, so we have an interesting reading here today. Okay, the first card comes up, and this is how we show up. And when I do the readings, right, so the first card I always pull is going to be the initial card of the energy that we're standing in, or just about to maybe walk in, right? So we're standing in the energy of justice, right? And so justice is overall about a legal situation or documents or police findings in this particular deck, right? Finding out the truth in a matter and affecting the balance. So those are the keywords, right? So because not everybody's dealing with a legal situation, we're going to keep those keywords. Affecting the balance. And that's overall what justice does, right? It comes in and it balances out the scales, right? So if that is where we were standing, and we are also, that's our overall position, right? We come up in a more of a masculine King of Knights energy, okay? So we are, King of Wands energy. And, so very ambitious and outspoken. So I get the sense of like, you know what, throughout all of this, with this justice card coming up, like you're very ambitious and outspoken about what has to be said in this whole predicament where this justice, where this balancing act plays out. Like you have your opinion, you have your version versus theirs, and the way that you feel things have taken place and how you feel that you have been injustice, right? So this is telling me also that like you have a lot with the Six of Cups, right? So happy house, childhood memories. To me, I get simplicity. Like you are simple. You just want the simple childhood memories and a happy house. Like this is telling me that this is what you're creating. This is what you're working on. This is what you want. And that you're very simple. Like this is all you want is like this childhood happy house and happy. And the Six of Cups is a great overall reading. It tells me a lot about who you are as a person. So like you're spiritual, you're connected, you're loving, you're caring, you're very understanding about your family. You put your family first. Family comes first to you. So childhood memories, you live kind of in your childhood memories. Your childhood memories also could be part of what you're creating now, and as opposed to what you had as a child. Maybe your childhood memories were not good, and so now maybe you're creating different childhood memories, maybe for your children or just for yourself overall in your life, right? Because you come up in the Fool. With the Fool, good friends, happiness, needing to take a giant leap forward. This Fool tells me that you are in the Fool. Like you are living through this every day. It's telling you that this is also what you need to do. So you need to remember to live life and not be afraid to take those leaps and those challenges, because you do only get this one shot. Like we only get one chance to live this life. And the idea of walking through life with regrets, saying like, I wish I would have, or why didn't I ever do that, or I waited too long. And just first of all, the idea of waiting too long is too much, right? But then the idea of never doing is no. It's like you don't want to live in that energy of like, why did I never do this, or how come I haven't done it? So the Fool comes up to remind us to like walk bravely and do like be like the Fool, walk like the Fool, just take your little bag. This also kind of like gives me the energy of like just less is more. Take a little bit and just go, like the Fool, like he travels and he's traveling the world and he's observing, and he just lives in the present. And so this is a reminder to live in the present, to be constantly in the present. And this is probably where you are, because that's what I get. I get the sense of like, you're living, creating this childhood memories. Though you have a lot of nostalgia with the childhood memories, this is where you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm going to be, courageous with this fool in me, And so there are many cards to back this up, but let me just keep going. Behind that, right after that, now I've spoken my readings in the past about like, you may be receiving a message, you may be receiving some important mail. And I've felt it, like, I don't even know what it is, but I just know it's coming, right? And so you may be like me, where you kind of like feel certain things way before they happen. So I already knew this was gonna happen, but it just keeps confirming with the card, with the Knight of Wands, that like a young man, 25, which tells me the mailman, I'm sorry, it just tells me the mailman, with an important letter. So that's like, okay, the mailman, right? And so the mailman brings the important letter that I've been telling you, that yes, there is something important coming in the mail. And I did say this multiple times, like, you will see it. It's not going to be an emotional feeling, this message. It's not going to be something that like somebody, it's actually going to be a letter, and in that letter, it's going to also, with this Nine of Cups, it's going to talk about the improvements that are underway. So then you start to feel quite smug, which will give you the energy to live through the Fool. So I feel like once you get that letter, once you get this news, right, you're going to have enough courage to remain in that Fool moment. To be the Fool is not a bad thing. It means that you're courageous enough to step out of the comfortable. So many people live in the uncomfortable that they never step out of it and go into the uncomfortable because they're afraid of the unknown. To live in fear is insane. Okay. So with Justice, right, you get Deceit. So betrayal, manipulation, but this is, I pulled this from the past life energies. So from the past life energy, right, there has been deceit and betrayal of manipulation. Well, the Justice comes in, right? So that comes in from the past life energies. And Archangel Zadkiel tells us, and I probably Zadkiel, okay? He brings in compassion, freedom, and forgiveness. Okay, so the compassion and the freedom and the forgiveness also goes along with the Justice. With, freedom, I get the keywords like freedom, justice, freedom. You also think of like jail, you know what I mean? Like freedom, justice, jail. So these all kind of go, deceit, manipulation. So these all kind of go together, right? So this was from a past life energy. This could have been a karmic situation that you're dealing with now, that the Justice is now kind of balancing out. And it had to play out like that. Just always remember that certain things are out of your hands and they just have to play out a certain way. You have to go with the tides. You can't go against it, right? So this past life energy of deceit that comes into your life from a past life deck, this tells me this was a karmic situation, okay? But it tells me that, you get compassion, forgiveness, and freedom. So somebody, Archangel Zadkiel, offers you the freedom, the forgiveness, and, the compassion. So he offers you the compassion, like, he's giving you, it's almost like that ticket, that like the free ticket, like the meal ticket. It's almost like a meal ticket, okay? Devotion. So this tells me a lot about you, with devotion, just devotion with spiritual practices, intuitive history. So kind of like when I told you about myself, so I can kind of feel things, my senses, my spirits are off, my stomach flips when I know something's wrong. Like the other day I pulled my son out of school because I just knew it. And like, I just knew, when you just know, well, I just pulled him out of school and I was right on point. Okay. So maybe that's you. Maybe you have like this intuitive gut feeling. Maybe you also have a lot of spiritual practices, right? With passion and spirit connections coming up along with it. This definitely tells me that you are very connected to your spiritual self, to your spirit guides, and you have been very much involved in who you are. It may have taken you a while to get here. With Justice and mending, right? So Justice and mending, this goes along with mending. The mending is, how do we heal this broken situation? Justice brings in something that has to be balanced. So with the mending, we have to mend what the heck just happened in that Justice. And that's where, where we get the compassion, the freedom, and the forgiveness, okay? Now, with the King of Wands, right, you also get serendipity. So this tells me that, yeah, you are living through your serendipity, but there could also be possibilities of like, you have to be mindful of meeting people, being at the right place at the right time. Serendipity is all about being in the serendipity of your life. You have to be out there. You have to get out there in order to live in the serendipity of your life. If you're just sitting in your house, well, you're never going to catch the serendipities, right? So this is a reminder, like, it's telling me that you are, like, they're kind of like the same. Serendipity and the Fool, they just kind of give me the same vibes. They're both like, moving along and through their own serendipity, and they have their own serendipity of life. And maybe it's like no one else, no others, no one other that but it's theirs, And so this also tells me from these other decks, I get like, that you've been thinking, you're a thinker, and to see. So thinker and to see tells me that you have been doing some deep, deep work, right? You've been thinking deep. You've been trying to figure out how you come to this place where you are right now in life. You have done a lot of healing, a lot of mending. You've looked at the past to see the past betrayals, with betrayal and deceit coming up in your past life history. This tells me that you've spent time looking at your past, looking at how people have deceived you. And now you are like free, like what never to do again. Maybe you're an empath like myself, and you're always trying to fix people and always trying to help people. And this is what you get. And you're like, I'm done being an empath. I'm not doing that anymore. So like you've learned a lot through this thinking process, through this to see, like you've literally almost, when I get the to see, I get like you've gone away. You've been at sea. Mentally and emotionally, you've been at sea. You've been thinking, maybe like you've been writing. Myself personally, I've been writing for literally 120 days straight, working on my book, right? So that kind of gives me the same vibes of like to away at sea, like you're somewhere else. You have been somewhere else, but you've been working with the thinking right by it. You've been working quietly, though it may look like you're doing absolutely nothing. If you're an artist like myself or a writer like myself, you could be working steadily on something, so that's just another thing. And so with the Fool also comes joy. This is telling you to have joy, in your life and to be happy. But also with the important letter comes message in a bottle. So this is definitely confirmation that, you're getting a physical letter. Okay, like I said, it will not be a spiritual sign. It will not be something that you feel. It will not be something that you're hearing. It's definitely going to be a message, like, a physical letter. Okay, so it's two confirmations of a letter. I get the sense that this letter is giving you a leg up, with the leg up coming in here and the possibilities of the globe. So you're getting like, there's so many possibilities. This letter offers you possibilities. There are many opportunities. You get like, you're looking at the world. The globe is like the world, and so you kind of look at like the whole world. You may be looking at some new job opportunities, some maybe new places to live. The world, the globe is like the world in another deck, right? But it's also telling you like, it doesn't really offer the same meaning. It's telling me that you have many different avenues that you could pursue right now. It's almost like even like a fork, the crossroads, like you can go any which direction. This is what it tells me. You could just spin the globe and put your finger, and that's, kind of like the job you're going to go to or the house you're going to live at. So the globe tells me like a lot of like spin your luck. I get a lot of like spin, spin for your luck. And with the angel numbers and coming right along behind it, wow, the angel numbers are telling you like it's a confirmation. Like, yes, this is a yes. Everything that you've been, working on is a yes. Again, building blocks comes up. This is telling us like, you need to build this structure, whatever you're working on. Well, let's put down the globe for a minute. So the building blocks tells me, you need to build this properly. Like all of this, the material, the knowledge, everything that you've been working on, whatever, maybe your finances, everything, you need every single block. So let's just pretend for a second that every block is a representation of a different aspect of your life. So maybe your finances one, maybe your home, your children, your job. So, you really need all of these blocks to be in place properly in order for you to be able just to have a straight, clear walk. I get a lot of like, also with the way she's building, I get a lot of, if we looking deeper, like she's really building them sporadically too. Like she's building now, and she's very like, she's enjoying her building blocks right now. So I get like the foundation has been solid up until now, where she kind of is just living again with this same serendipity energy. I get this different type of energy where, prior to, she was walking in a very structured way, as opposed to the way she's placing her blocks down now. She's placing her blocks down, they're a little bit more scattered. One's here, one's there, one's there, one's here. And that's how she feels, along with the serendipity. It's like, hey, I'm going with whichever way the wind blows. And this is the energy I get behind this reading, with the abundance and the coral shells. This also is a confirmation about the letter, but the abundance could be your overall life. Remember, abundance is not always money. I always have to tell people that. A lot of people are, okay, coral shells, yes, is kind of like money, but remember, only one of these shells is an aspect of money. And what about family? And what about love? And what about this? And what about that? So your abundance is an equal. You need all of those shells to be completely abundant. So that's also what the coral shells are telling me. So, if you're just waiting for maybe money, you need more than money to be happy. You need love, you need family, you need companionship. So you need a bunch of things to be an equally abundant person, to be a balanced, abundant person, right? So the worst thing in the world is to be like, just imagine being so abundant in wealth, but having no abundance in love. Like no one in the world, like loving you. Not a child, not a single person. Maybe you never married and you're alone. Imagine what a lonely life that would be, to be so abundant in money and have no love, like not even an offspring. And that's because that's all the person may be focused on their entire life is financial gain, financial gain, financial gain. And, so now the scale is never balanced. So just remember that your abundance is as a balancing of everything, and never just put it all into like, oh, the more money I have, the more abundant I have. Don't ever forget about the aspect of love and health. Without your health, well, you can't even do anything without your money. So just be mindful of that, okay? Whatever this letter contains, whatever's coming in the mail of this letter, maybe it is, great news about your health. That would be great. Imagine if you took a test and you're waiting for the results and you feel abundant now, like your life is so rich because you just found out you're going to live. So I like to always put the flip in there for you guys to look at life for what it really is. Like, your life is never guaranteed to you. So like we all kind of take this for granted. And so with that being said, we recycle, we recover from this whole situation. We recover, we come out of it, we got a leg up. But the Fool card and everything is telling you to live in the moment, to stay, actively living in the moment. Don't let fear or doubt come into your mind. I get a lot of like, you've been thinking. You literally went out to sea to think about this one. So, you know what I mean? You've been thinking so much about it. Like you just have to do it, with the Fool. It's kind of like I get this energy, like you've spun the wheel, and you have all these possibilities and you have the abundance, like you have everything you need. And you have the confirmations to go. So really the only thing at this point that can stop you from having this abundant life that the universe is showing you would be you. With this is a beautiful reading because Justice is the first card. And the last card is Improvements Underway, Feeling Smug. Okay, so this is a beautiful overall reading with deceit being in your past life present. This tells me that this justice was a karmic situation, as I said in the beginning, which you will recover from. With recover and recycle coming from from the same deck, karmic deck, right? Past life deck. This tells me you're going to recover from this, and you're going to come out very quite abundant, and you're going to be smiling and maybe looking at your nails and polishing them. No, I'm just kidding. But I do like to do that, But yeah, so like this is telling you, like this one right here is a confirmation, kind of like for many women, when you get your nails done and you like to look at them like that, like afterwards, like this is like take time for these little moments too. Like get your nails done, get your hair done. Maybe you've spent so much time thinking and like spending so much time out to see that you haven't spent any time on, your inner me. So I get a lot of like, maybe do your own nails. If the finances are not there, I do my own nails, by the way. They look like they get them done. That's just because that's how good I am. Yeah. But yeah, so maybe do your own nails, get dressed, do your makeup. But like this tells me, do something for you, be happy. And always remember, as with the Fool, live in the moment. You've got devotion, you're very spiritually intuitive, you already know how things are going to play out, you already know what's going to happen. So just live, be you, do what you do best, and that's pretty much, yeah, that's the reading for today, guys. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if my energy is a little different, it's a little hyper. I've got 2 kids home, so their energy really does affect my energy. But I hope you enjoyed the message today. Love you always. Mwah, mwah. Have a great day.